Alright, today we're going to work on Intermediate Math 2.1. This is over percent basics. Basic definition you'll need to know for this one is percent means parts per 100. Alright, so the first section it gives us percentages and it simply asks us to rewrite them as a fraction. There's going to be some that we really should be familiar with without having to do any work. The first one's an example of that, 25%. Now, that's one we probably want to memorize. We'll see that one a lot. We need to know that that's 1/4. Okay? But how do we know it's 1/4? It's a really common one, so we'll memorize it. But we know it's 1/4 because the process for converting it from a percent to a fraction is to take the number that it gives us and put it over 100. Alright? That's what it means by percent means parts per 100. Alright, it's how many parts of 100 is 25%. When we reduce that fraction, when we divide the top by 25, and we divide the bottom by 25, we get 1/4. Alright, that's one that you don't necessarily have to show a lot of work for. It's pretty obvious. Most of them actually be obvious, but that one's especially. Okay, on number 4, 17%. It wants us to put 17 over 100. Then we reduce it. Well, 17's prime, and 17 doesn't go into 100, so we're done. Alright. Number 6 looks different. That's a big number, 530%. What are we going to do there? We're going to do exactly the same thing we've been doing. 530 over 100. Reduce equals 53 over 10, and then just double check to make sure that you've reduced it all the way down. We have. So we're done. Nothing different just because it's a big number. What do you think is going to happen on 780%? We're going to put 780 over 100. I'm going to start off with the easy part. I know I can cancel those out, giving me 78 over 10. I also see that the numerator and the denominator are both even. So I'm going to divide them both by 2. And I'm going to get 39 over 5. 75% is another one of those that should be real common for us. We should know that that's 3/4. We need to memorize that one. That is 3/4 because 75 over 100 divide by 25 equals 3/4. Alright. So the next section gives us the percent and it wants us to write them as a decimal. So on that one, we all understand that there's an understood 0.0 behind the 31. That's the same thing as 31.0%. Alright. When I go to change these to a decimal, a percent to a decimal, I always take the decimal point and move it 2 places to the left. 1, 2. 0.31. It's a good idea to put a 0 right in front of it just so it's easier to keep up with. And I'm done. 16.0%. 1, 2. 0.16. Again, it's just a good idea to have a 0 right there. Makes it where we don't lose that decimal. What about this one? This is a little bitty number, 0.00005%. It's going to be the same thing. 0.00005%. I'm still going to take that decimal and move it 2 places to the left. It's going to give me a new 0 there, so 0.0000005. I should have 2 more decimals on the right side of that decimal than I did before. 633%, big number. Treat it the same as you do any other whole number. That's the same thing as 633.0%. Move that decimal place 2 places. I'm going to be with 6.33%. Alright, so this one's a little bit different. It's 12.8%. Just going to do the same thing though. 12.128. Need to go back and correct something on my last one. That's not 6.33%. It's just 6.33. Got to be careful not to carry that percent sign down with it. That was when I was doing away from the percent. Alright, now it's giving us the decimal and wants to take it to a percent. Well, we talked about when you first started learning math, you learned how to add. Then you learned the opposite of that, to subtract. You learned how to multiply. Then you learned the opposite of that, to divide. We just learned how to write a percent as a decimal. Now we're going to learn the opposite of that, writing a decimal as a percent. So I've got 0.42. Now, earlier I was taking that decimal point and moving it 2 places to the left to convert it from a percent. Now I'm just going to take it and move it 2 places to the right. 1, 2, it's going to give me 42%. 0.38, 12.38. Nope. Just 38%. 38%. 0.09. Move it 2 places to the right, and I'm going to get 9%. 0.07212. I'm going to get 7.2%. Alright, those are pretty straightforward. You just have to be careful not to make the little mistakes, kind of like I did when I brought that percent down. And you should do pretty good on this part.